group of wealthy Canadians who want to pay more taxes.
The king is in town. Welcome back to Moose and Loose. My name's David. Today, we've even got Boo here. A bunch of people have been asking about Boo. She usually sleeps in front of me now. She's another bed, but you can see she's still alive and well. Today, we got a new speaker. We got the king in town and ceremonial stuff. But more importantly, you'll see Mark Carney shoo away Melanie Joly. Not a good look. He's had multiple situations where he's shown his egotistical kind of side to him. We got a story out of CBC, millionaires who want to be taxed higher. We got CTV running promotional content of Hong Kong. It is absolutely bizarre. We got a bunch of other stuff. Let's jump into this. King Charles is now in town. Carney sent our big gas guzzling jet over to England to pick him up and bring him back over. How much is this going to cost taxpayers?
Embrace their nationalism and to re-embrace the fact that, you know, constitutionally we are a constitutional monarchy, and there you have now His Majesty King Charles, Queen Camilla with him as they descend down the stairs.
Okay, so they descend down the stairs. There's a whole bunch of people waiting here with all this ceremonial stuff. It's all very ridiculous. Waste of taxpayer money. Mark Carney waiting there for his buddy, the king. Wow, the king is really short too, because we know Mark Carney's a little guy. They're both little.
And there you see His Majesty having just said hello to the Governor General and her partner, Whit Fraser, now shaking hands with Prime Minister Carney's wife, Diana Fox Carney.
These two know each other quite well. They're both on those corporate nights webinar whatever things. This is not their first time meeting. They know each other very well.
Along this line, you'll see many.
So you can see the big jet in the background there. So we sent our jet to go pick him up. Like, how much did all of this big political facade cost us? A bunch of people want to see the king.
Viewers and listeners will know well, as he did have a past history.
I don't get it. I don't know why anyone's excited by someone who's born into money. Not like he achieved something great. He's the best at something, a great mind. He's just born into money. To me, that's not exciting whatsoever. You see here Mark Carney and Diana Fox Carney to his left, following the king around. They set up a little hockey thing.
To the center of the ring for the ceremonial puck drop.
The ceremonial puck drop. Okay. They're really just hamming this up, aren't they? You gotta have Stephen Guilbeault there front and center. Jeez. They go do a ceremonial tree planting. It's basically just a tree in the ground waiting for one last shovel of dirt on top. And before we head into the house for the new speaker, we've got Chris Stacey on the scene here, as well as Rebel News, both trying to ask Chrystia Freeland here in her blue dress a question or two.
She just saw us and it looks like she's gonna run away. Chrystia Freeland just turned, saw us.
So they go in pursuit here just to try to get a question or two.
This is a secure area.
So yeah, Chrystia Freeland not taking questions. Good start to the new session of Parliament here.
It's a year and a half.
Same old, same old. Next up, we got this one going around here. Mark Carney shoos Melanie Joly away when she tries to talk to him. Let's just go over to the source here a little for better quality. So we're looking at this situation here. Melanie Joly spinning her microphone in her hand. You'll see Mark Gerritsen pass and then just watch her interaction here with Mark Carney. She goes to ask him something. Look at me, he's like, shoot, go away, go away. He shooed her away twice. He did one of these, and then he reached over with his other hand and did this. I guess that's how Mark Carney's running this ship. Similar to when you hear a mosquito sound near your face. So here's Mark Carney's opening remarks.
Mr. Speaker, I have much to learn from the members of this great House. I will make mistakes. I have no doubt that you will call them out for good reason. Because this House has rules, it has traditions, and it's on those traditions that our Athenian democracy is founded.
Just leave it to Mark Carney to make situation weird like this.
Yes, we are Athens. They are Rome. On va triompher.
We will prevail. We're in the golden age of Athens.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Oh, you have my support.
Next up, Andrew Scheer gives his opening statements.
As we heard from our dean, until the 17th century, the speaker's loyalty was to the crown rather than to MPs, and they were often blamed if they delivered bad news to the monarch. One speaker, John Wenlock, during the War of the Roses, when no one could be sure who would end up as king, he tried to hedge his bets by fighting for both the York family and the Lancastrians. It didn't work out too well for him, though. He died at the Battle of Tewkesbury. But of course, he wasn't the last politician to try to be on both sides of a contentious issue. And I dare say we may find some Liberal MPs voting for things that they were very recently voting against.
Scheer getting in a pretty good roast there. A new speaker was chosen today. It isn't Fergus. I'm guessing the Liberals wanted it to be Fergus, but every member of Parliament cast their ballot, and we'll get to that in a second. But as it says here, coming from Blacklock's reporter, MP Fergus, seeking re-election as speaker, complained he was held to a higher standard as first black speaker. This is ridiculous. This guy, on multiple occasions, proved that he was partisan to the Liberals. It has nothing to do with the color of his skin. It comes down to he wasn't being a fair speaker. They cast their ballots, and MPs Francis Scarpaglia is the new speaker. This guy's been around since the early 2000s, and I'm guessing this wasn't the Liberals' top pick because he seems like a more fair speaker. So the tradition here is to drag the guy in because usually the speaker was someone who got taken out by the king if there wasn't good news. That's why he's pretending that he doesn't want to go up there. And they held a moment of silence here for what happened in Vancouver recently with the car driving through the food truck festival. This is especially sad because just like an hour or so ago, this happened again in the UK. There's footage of it. Don't go look at it. It's awful. Devastating stuff. Moving ahead, we've also got this one from Blacklock's reporter. It says, first petition of 45th Parliament demands apology for transatlantic, this S-word trade. MP Gord Johns sponsored the petition without comment. Canada has yet to formally apologize. This is absurd. Come on. Canada didn't have S people or engage in the S trade. Why would Canada apologize for something it didn't do? The S trade was abolished before Canada even became a country. Moving on, we got this one from Table Salt. It says, someone sent me this map of Ottawa car theft incidents over the past few years from the Ottawa police, apparently. So I have seen this map. I can't remember this website, but yeah, I mean, look at this. There's so many dots. They're overlapping. You can't even see how many there are. And we've got this one going around of Emmanuel Macron. He comes out of his plane here, and his wife, well, she does this. Look for the hand here. Yeah, that's not a good look. Later, he went on to say they were joking around. Who knows what's going on there? Next up, we've got a segment on CBC where there's a group of people who are rich who want to be taxed more. That's what they're putting on the CBC.
A group of wealthy Canadians who want to pay more taxes, want rich people to pay more money in taxes to serve the greater good in a country that they say relies on social services. But they're getting some pushback from others in their tax bracket who say that could actually kill investment in the country. Anis Haydari reports.
Patriotic Millionaires Canada is a new activist group. It's been launched by wealthy Canadians and is based on similar lobbying in the United States and United Kingdom. They're asking governments to force the wealthy to pay more in income tax or in taxes on investment, dividends, and capital gains.
Our systems and our economy are set up so that once you achieve a certain level of wealth, like I have, basically you're handed this giant prize. Congratulations, you're rich.
Members of the group point out that unlike income tax that most working Canadians pay, profits from investments are taxed differently, and sometimes less.
Your teachers, your nurses, the people who are having to work around the clock, why is it that they're paying more in terms of tax rate than we are, right? At the end of the day, the bottom line is that no one is able to build wealth alone.
The group argues that both working and wealthy Canadians benefit from government services. Think healthcare, housing, education, roads. The Patriotic Millionaires argue they, along with all millionaires, should pay more for those things. But there's strong pushback from tax and wealth experts who say this could backfire because of the message it could send.
You don't want wealthy people. You don't want capital. You don't want entrepreneurship. Is that what we're saying? Is that what you really want? And if the answer is, well, of course not, well, that's what will happen.
So it's really a redistribution.
Donald Trump has also recently mused about increasing taxes on the rich, though Republicans have pushed back. And here in Canada, it may be an uphill battle politically for the new Patriotic Millionaires group. Both Liberals and Conservatives promised to cancel tax increases on capital gains in the last election.
Well, I've seen everything now. Patriotic Millionaires Group. CBC needs to close down. What a scam. No thanks. I work hard for my 50%. I am keeping it. The level of gaslighting in this country is literally off the charts. I love that one of the millionaires are being interviewed is from their home in California. I noticed that. They had to go to California to find someone to do that segment. Next up, I thought this was incredibly bizarre. Coming from CTV News here. The title of this video is Explore Hong Kong, which you can see down here, Explore Hong Kong. This video is enticing people to go to Hong Kong and travel. Why is this being released right now when China just interfered in our election?
From amazing attractions and breathtaking views to diverse culinary experiences, there's always something happening in Hong Kong. Chrissy Van went on a trip of a lifetime there, and she's here to share why it should be your next vacation destination. Good morning, Chrissy.
Good morning, Corey. I heard your forecast. They are 28 in Hong Kong today, just saying.
Okay. That's much better than our 12. Why don't we start off by talking about what is the journey like getting to Hong Kong?
Well, we all know the saying, Corey, that the joy is in the journey. And I have to say, Cathay Pacific really elevated that experience. You get into the friendly skies. And when you hear airplane food, you typically don't think this is going to be an amazing experience. It's phenomenal. Dim sum, think fresh noodles. So you're energized by the time you get to the destination. And then I arrived at
You're not energized by the time you get to the destination. I've been to Hong Kong 3 times because I was married to a Chinese woman for a handful of years. It is exhausting. Even from Vancouver, it takes like 17 hours to fly over there. If you go from Toronto, it's like 25 hours.
At the Park Lane Hotel, Hong Kong. That's in Causeway Bay, which is a vibrant part of the city. Shopping, dining at your doorstep, and also Victoria Park, which is a beautiful green space that I took advantage of because I know we'll talk dining later. There are a lot of morning jogs during my trip.
Perfect.
So notice here it says sponsored content. This is very bizarre. At the beginning there it said she's from the Tourism Board of Hong Kong. Why are they promoting this right now? Are they trying to take advantage of Canadians not going down to America? They're trying to get them to go over to China? China just interfered with our election. This is appalling that CTV would allow this kind of sponsor to come in here, sponsored content, promoting Hong Kong right now. Hong Kong has fallen to the CCP. They've taken away all their rights. They're supposed to leave it intact. Hong Kong no longer has free speech. This is absurd.
That sounds a great way to start off your trip so far. And Hong Kong is also known for its vibrant skyline. Did anything surprise you about the outdoor spaces?
Yeah, I mean, you hear Hong Kong, you think urban jungle, skyline. And as a nature nut here in Vancouver, I was blown away. Mountainous landscapes. And I traveled to Sai Kung, took a boat over to Sharp Island, quiet beaches, turquoise waters. They have a tombolo, which is essentially an underwater bridge that you can access.
Sai Kung is a fishing village outside of Hong Kong. Those remote areas there, the last time I was in Hong Kong, I rode on a bike through some back trails, got bitten by a million mosquitoes, ended up getting dengue fever, and nearly died 5 days later coming back to Vancouver. I laid in bed in agony for a month, and it took me 4 months to actually get my strength back. So that's the real side of Hong Kong. They've got Japanese encephalitis. Doesn't mean you shouldn't go to Hong Kong, but of course the tourism board just painting that creamy, perfect picture. Once again, this is incredibly bizarre that this is being put on after they interfered with our election. There should be an outright ban across Canada with any sort of media promoting China.
During low tide. And then I also made it over to Yin Tin Sai, which is a UNESCO heritage island. You can see the historic salt pans. There's beautiful historic buildings. And then your camera roll is just going to get exhausted because the scenery around you is 10 out of 10.
Well, and the pictures look fantastic.
The pollution is also 10 out of 10. If you take a breath of air in Vancouver and then you step off the plane in Hong Kong, you're choking for air. The pollution is so bad there. There's a lot of cool stuff. You can go up into the woods. The Qilin Nunnery is cool. This is like the most manicured garden you'll ever step foot in. These Chinese junk boats are really cool too. And they've got grave sites that cover the entire mountain peaks because they believe this is the closest they can bury their loved ones to heaven. Regardless, I think it's absurd that CTV is promoting China right now, considering the situation.
Thank you for joining us this morning, Chrissy. This is maybe somewhere that I didn't think about traveling before, and I think I want to add it to my list.
This is so phony baloney. Look at this guy's greaseball smile. Get out of here. Next up, we got a story coming out of Canada. This is an office tower that's getting converted into housing.
As the city grapples with how to boost housing supply, one of the proposed solutions is to convert unused office space into residential buildings. That is exactly what is set to happen in Canada. Today, councillors approving a plan to transform an 11-story building which will allow people to live in the heart of the technology park. CTV's Austin Lee joins us now with more on this. Austin.
Yeah, Stefan, a city committee voted in favor of the proposal to convert that 11-story office building that you mentioned to 115 residential units, along with some office space on the ground floor. And the building is located at 535 Leggett Drive. That's near the Marshes Golf Club. The building would connect to the nearby Brook Street Hotel for residents to access restaurants, a spa, meeting and event spaces, and the golf course. Now, the plan includes room for 108 parking spaces, plus another 95 spaces for bicycles. Converting office space is generally something that we hear about in the downtown core, but some city councillors say this is a positive step as the city looks to address the housing crisis.
We know that so many office buildings now are essentially vacated of workers. The work from home trends are strong. Corporate headquarters are nowhere near as full as they were. So the opportunity to do office conversions seems really compelling. There's a really important environmental benefit from converting buildings.
Noof Architects and KRP Properties, they're the ones that submitted the plan to the city, and a timeline for this project is still unclear. Leeper says there haven't been many of these projects in Ottawa, so it is tough to get a true sense of the average timeline for something like this. That said, he's optimistic it will be an efficient transformation, especially considering that there is no need for demolition. Stefan.
You know what the timeline is? Approved. Of course, they'll probably spend a year deliberating about it. Convert the tower, get some people in there, move on. Been wondering why they haven't been doing this for years now. More immigrants, less jobs, way to go, Ottawa. I mean, that's essentially why you're seeing towers shut down, a lot of people being brought in, drawing off the system, not working, less jobs created. You're seeing office towers being shut down. There's also work from home kind of stuff as well. But comes down to it, if this isn't being used, might as well just convert it, because clearly there's not a strong business case in Canada for starting businesses under the Liberals.